One wrong mistake at sea can cost tens of millions of dollars in hardware and destroy hundreds of families in a single afternoon. You don't work in a place like that by relying on bravery. You survive because the ship runs on heat, fuel, steel, momentum, and humans moving fast inside tight rules. These are the unwritten rules every naval sailor learns the hard way. Step onto the flight deck and your body understands the danger before your brain finishes the thought. Heat hits your face, noise hits your bones, jet wash shoves your chest, non-skid grabs your boots, and recovery ops keep cycling like the deck never gets to blink. You stand on about 4.5 acres of steel on a ship roughly 1,092 feet long with a crew that can climb to around 5,680 when the air wing comes aboard. That scale leaves you zero room to improvise while you walk. Rule 1 lives right in front of you during recovery. Stay out of the landing area unless your job puts you there. The arresting system looks calm until you watch it bite. The purchase cable sits around 1.5 inches thick, and it takes a brutal load when it stops an aircraft. Jets can hit the deck around 150 miles per hour and stop in hundreds of feet. That energy doesn't fade, it snaps into steel. 1 second the cable hangs loose, the next second it turns tight and violent. Treat it like rope, and you learn what a loaded spring feels like. That's why you see foul lines. Those lines don't decorate the deck. They mark where the ship stops forgiving. Predictability keeps people alive. Cross the wrong boundary, and you don't just endanger yourself. You force everyone around you to adjust while the next aircraft already commits to the deck. Once a jet lines up, it doesn't pause so you can fix a bad decision. Watch how veterans move in that tempo. They don't memorize rules like flashcards. They read patterns, they scan lanes, track signals, and move like they owe the whole deck clarity. In tight cycles, recoveries can stack with less than a minute between aircraft, close enough that the deck feels like it never exhales. Veterans signal their intent early with their body. They keep their path clean. They never make people guess because guessing costs time, and the flight deck never has extra time. Rookies bring the one thing the deck hates: uncertainty. Drift once and you force a correction. Corrections spread fast. One person steps wrong, one director adjusts, one crew member hesitates for half a beat, and suddenly 5 people move at once. You won't always hear a lecture. You'll feel a hand clamp your shoulder. You'll get turned and placed where you belong. You'll catch a look that says the next 10 seconds belong to the aircraft. Here's what the manual won't tell you. The crew fixes you before leadership ever needs to. They don't scream. They do it with access and trust. One sloppy moment can follow you for months. One unsafe shortcut becomes a story that jumps from shop to shop by the next meal. You feel it when people stop letting you float near the edges. You feel it when you stop getting the good lane in a tight squeeze. You feel it when veterans watch you instead of watching the aircraft because you became the problem in the frame. You can be new. You cannot be unpredictable. Now lock onto the jersey colors because the deck makes them real. Purple shirts handle fuel, and everyone respects their calm because fuel punishes panic. Red shirts handle ordnance and firefighting, and nobody wants sloppy hands around explosives and emergency gear. Yellow shirts direct aircraft movement. When a yellow shirt points, you move. Not because of rank, because of geometry. Up close, the deck stops looking like chaos and starts looking like lanes measured in feet and inches. A moving aircraft doesn't roll by like a car in a parking lot. It owns space. It carries mass, suction, exhaust, and momentum. Step where you feel like stepping, and you force a director to choose between your safety and the aircraft's safety. They choose the aircraft every time. That the jet doesn't care that you're new. It only cares that you're in the way. So where do rookies sit in the hierarchy? At the bottom, and the deck keeps it that way until you prove consistency. Blue shirts learn by watching and by staying out of the way until they earn trust. Keep your mouth shut during ops. Keep your eyes open all the time. Save questions for briefs, not for the moment the deck starts moving. Earn the right to speak by showing everyone you can follow the system without adding noise to it. That's how the deck keeps roughly 300 people working in organized danger without turning it into actual chaos. Shift your eyes to the green shirts because this is where the ship stops feeling like a workplace and starts feeling like a machine that can throw mistakes into the ocean. Green shirts work launch and recovery machinery. The shooter's authority doesn't come from a title. It comes from track record. A catapult can throw an aircraft from 0 to well over 150 mil per charge in a couple seconds across roughly 300 feet of deck. That acceleration doesn't respond to confidence. It responds to settings. Set it low, and the aircraft leaves the bow without enough airspeed. Set it high, and you punish the jet and the pilot for your error. Bad numbers don't stay abstract. Bad numbers turn into bent metal, blown schedules, injured sailors, and a pilot swimming. That's why crews treat timing and signals like a heartbeat. A half-step mistake at the front of the deck can become a full-blown emergency behind it. Social consequences hit even faster than paperwork. Do it right, and your name stays quiet. Do it wrong, and your name turns into a warning that travels faster than you do. You see it in what you stop getting picked for. You see it when someone steps in to double-check your work without asking. You see it when jokes disappear and quiet watching replaces them. On a ship, reputation doesn't just follow you. It decides what people allow you near. Now, go to the sailors who touch the aircraft when everyone else keeps distance. Brown shirts, the plane captains, often look young, but pilots trust them because they live inside the details. A brown shirt can be 19 or 20 with 2 years on one platform, and that experience can outweigh rank in the one place that matters, the aircraft. They catch the missing pin, the loose panel, the hose that sits off by an inch. They don't need drama. They need perfect habits repeated across dozens of cycles. White shirts shut down ego fast, especially landing signal officers. They guide the most dangerous seconds of a trap, landing on a moving deck in ugly weather with no runway behind you. When an LSO tells you to fix something in your approach, you fix it. You don't negotiate, you don't explain, you correct. If this is the first time you're realizing how controlled the danger is out here, hit subscribe and stay with me. Now leave the sun and drop below decks. The ship runs 24/7, and the watchbill chews time even when your body begs for a full night of sleep. Many sailors live in rhythms like 4 hours on, 8 hours off, but off doesn't mean sleep. Off means you squeeze life into whatever window survives. Chow, shower, maintenance, paperwork, laundry, quals, maybe a few minutes to breathe. Sleep comes in chunks, 90 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours, if you get lucky. Then you move again. Submarines teach this lesson in one loud mistake. Don't slam anything. A hatch doesn't just bang once. Steel carries sound. One slammed hatch can wake a section in seconds. When you wake people on a schedule like this, you don't just annoy them. You degrade the ship, steal someone's sleep, and you steal their accuracy. Tired hands slip. Tools drop. Fingers get smashed. A small injury pulls one person off station. Someone else fills the gap. That person loses their rest window. Fatigue stacks until reaction time slows everywhere. You don't need a cinematic accident to see the damage. You'll spot it in missed steps, misheard commands, and 1 extra second of hesitation at the worst possible moment. Predictability keeps people alive, and down here you protect it by protecting rest. So sailors handle the silence like equipment. They lower voices without being asked. They keep gear from clanking. They learn which plates creak and which latches stick. They flatten against bulkheads to let someone pass. Space Force's discipline. Many passageways feel about 3 feet wide enough for one person to clean, narrow enough that 2 people passing must move like they practiced it. Don't crowd ladders, don't block corners, don't turn choke points into hangout spots because emergencies don't wait. Rookies learn the social penalty fast below decks too. Wake people repeatedly, and you become a liability with a label. The crew won't always confront you with a speech. They'll stop carrying you. Favors disappear. Extra teaching disappears. Patience disappears. Not out of cruelty, out of survival. Your first week decides your reputation cycle, so stop trying to impress people and start trying not to add friction. Greet people. Learn names. Respect space. You can't disappear and reset on a ship, so don't arrive like you own the air. The ship remembers respect, and it remembers entitlement. Work the same way. Don't grab tasks like you're auditioning. Sign in. Get issued gear. Learn alarms. Learn routes. Learn which doors you don't touch and which ladders you don't crowd. Keep passageways clear because stretchers need space and emergencies don't ask permission. Skip steps and you don't look bold. You look like a risk. Time becomes its own rule. The ship runs in minutes. If your watch starts at 0400, don't slide in at 0359. Show up 10 minutes early, sometimes 15, because turnover matters. You need the brief and the handoff. Arrive late, and you extend someone else's watch and cut into the only rest window they fought to protect. One late sailor can steal 30 minutes of sleep from a shipmate over the course of a day. Do that for a week, and you've built fatigue into the crew on purpose. Now, step into berthing and feel what density does to humans. Racks stack 3 high on many ships. Each one feels like a tight rectangle built for function. Around 6 feet long, roughly 2 feet wide, with clearance that can feel like a couple feet between you and the rack above you. A curtain becomes the closest thing you get to a door. Treat it like one. Don't sit on someone else's rack. Don't touch their gear. Don't hover at their curtain like you're entitled to their piece. On paper, a compartment might be designed for around 60 sailors. In reality, it can push closer to 80 when schedules and bodies stack up. That density turns tiny habits into big problems fast. Spread out, and someone else has to compress. Tempers shorten, noise rises, sleep breaks, mistakes multiply, and whispers attach to names and follow you. Berthing stays stable only when everyone protects small boundaries like their job depends on it. Mail call shows the human side of the ship in a single minute. Passageways shift when it hits. Some sailors brighten instantly, others go quiet. Give room. Don't pry, don't joke, don't force emotion into a performance, and don't touch anyone's mail. Ever. That envelope can carry somebody's whole week. Now watch how the ship enforces the night without signs. Someone always sleeps because someone always stands watch. If you're off duty and your roommates just finished the night shift, move like a ghost, no overhead blasts, no locker, slams. No loud conversations, courtesy, flows both directions, and that discipline keeps reaction time sharp when alarms hit. Go tighter. Submarine tight. Hot racking becomes routine. In the tightest setup, 3 sailors share one rack across rotating shifts. The handoff runs on respect. Get out clean. Clear your space. Don't leave sweat, crumbs, or damp sheets for the next person. The next person crawls in exhausted. Stack disrespect on top of fatigue and you don't get teamwork. You get friction that spreads through the boat. Water brings the same rule, colder. Sub-showers don't stretch out. Sailors take a Navy shower, 30 to 60 seconds to wet down, water off while you soap, then a fast rinse that keeps the whole thing around 2 to 3 minutes. People think in gallons because the system forces honesty. Take extra every day and you don't just take water, you take trust. Resentment grows fast in a steel tube. One more rule the outside world misses. Sailors protect operational details like they protect each other. Loose talk doesn't feel dangerous in the moment. Stack 3 small details across a week and you've drawn a pattern for someone who shouldn't have it. Patterns get people hurt. So sailors keep their mouths closed and their shipmates safer. Then the ship gives itself one release valve that keeps morale from turning into rust. Somewhere out at sea, you cross an invisible line on the chart, the equator. Sailors don't treat it like a holiday. They treat it like a pressure release. Crossing the line ceremonies go back centuries to the age of sail, and modern crews keep their version alive because it turns a long deployment into a shared memory that isn't just alarms and work. You see sailors grin like they remembered they're human. You see chiefs loosen up just enough to let the crew breathe. You see quiet people laugh in the same space. The ship stays the ship, boundaries stay in place, and morale finally gets room to exist. Then, the 1MC cracks to life and everything tightens again. Conversations cut off, people move, ladders clear, the tempo comes right back. Tradition doesn't replace discipline, it refills it, and if you ever want the ocean to prove why every small rule matters, wait for 2 words. Man overboard. That call changes the ship in seconds. Someone throws a life ring, someone throws a smoke marker to hold a point on moving water. Lookouts multiply. Fast because one set of eyes won't beat an ocean. Radios tighten. The ship starts maneuvering. At 20 knots, the ship covers roughly 2,000 feet per minute. Every minute you lose stretches the distance from the last known point. Every minute widens the scan area. A human head becomes a speck. Specks vanish between swells. Night makes it worse. Rough seas make it worse. You won't see one person acting heroic. You'll see a system wake up. Stations man, reports repeat, search patterns tighten, and sometimes aircraft launch. Sometimes other ships shift to help. The ocean doesn't pause, so the crew learns to organize at speed. That same system shows up in quieter emergencies too. Long days, constant noise, little sunlight for some jobs, and weeks of compressed sleep can grind people down. Sailors notice. They pull a shipmate aside where it stays quiet. They check in without turning it into a show. They walk them to medical if they need to go. The institution provides resources, medical, chaplain, leadership channels, but the first sensor is still the crew because shipmates live 2 feet from each other and spot changes early. Now, bring it back to the rule that decides whether trust survives. Everyone makes mistakes on a ship this complex. Own yours fast and you keep credibility. Hide it, blame it, or talk your way out of it, and you'll feel the shift in how people treat you. They'll still work beside you. They won't trust you near the edges of safety, and those edges hurt people. Finally, look at the crews who keep the ship alive while everyone else tries to sleep. Maintenance teams chase function, not applause. They fix failures before they become emergencies. They work brutal hours below decks during port calls overnight in the parts nobody films. They carry one reality every day. One lazy shortcut can become somebody else's disaster, so they hold the line even when nobody watches. And nobody thanks them because the mission stays alive when systems stay alive. If you enjoyed this look inside submarine life, hit subscribe for more stories from the world's hidden frontiers.